Hello, this is your friendly neighborhood indie rapper, Open Mike Eagle. I'm probably the only one in your neighborhood, or maybe I don't live by you at all. But either way, like I said, I'm an independent rap fan. I listen to Quelle Chris, and I listen to Cavalier, and I listen to my own music a lot. It's 2025, folks. We have to normalize listening to your own music. It's okay, and we have to do it before Trump makes it illegal. You never know when that particular executive order is coming down. Because I spend most of my time listening to rappers that I like and listening to me, I don't listen to a lot of Drake. I have previously in the past said complimentary things about Drake, but it's not because Drake makes the products that I like the best. That is not why at all. I think I say positive things about Drake sometimes because what Drake has done historically is kind of unprecedented. We haven't had somebody stay on top of rap for a decade. I think part of this is due to his ability to craft a hit, which is obviously difficult, or more people would do it. I think people try all the time and they fail. And another reason that he's been able to stay on top a long time is that he stays immature and never develops emotionally. If anything, he goes backwards. But all that is to say, I don't listen to a lot of Drake on purpose. The last Drake project that I listened to on purpose, outside of the beef songs, was Views. And when I listened to Views, it hit me. I only like Drake sometimes. I really only like Drake when he raps. Like, I like Drake on If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, and whatever other projects that Drake mostly rapped on, because Drake does a lot of things other than rapping on a lot of his albums. So when Drake does things like crooning or talking or pouting, I'm not into any of those things. I'm only into a quarter of what he does. It's like I like a quarter of Drake. It's like if Drake had one cool grandparent and three terrible grandparents, and then Drake is the grandchild. Like, that's sort of the proportion to which I enjoy Drake. Now, plenty of people do like Drake, and that's fine for them, because what the truth of the matter is for me is that I am not in the target demographic. It's okay. I've not been in the target demographic since 1997. It's fine. I'm not expecting that. So when Drake announced that Drake and Party Next Door were releasing a project called Some Sexy Songs for You, I realized very quickly I was not part of the you. I am not the you in that. They are not some sexy songs for me. If somebody was making some sexy songs for me, they would probably have like a little saxophone and a little upright bass, and it would have no Drake on it. It would have no Drake on it at all. If you are making me some sexy songs and there's Drake on there, you can just take that off, and I guarantee you it will be 7% sexier than whatever you had had before. I don't want to hear Drake's voice during sexy time personally, not for my sexy time. I want to let it be known too, I'm not listening to independent rap during sexy time either. Okay. I did that in college and I learned my lesson. It's a bad idea. Nobody should do it. If you're considering do it, please do not. It is not good. When this project was announced, this Drake and Party Next Door announces Some Sexy Songs for You project, it was via a video of Drake looking quite emotionally detached and despondent in a red room with some women that he wasn't talking to. It was sort of a creepy scene. It sort of got overshadowed because we were all in Grammy fever and pre-Super Bowl angst. And this video kind of went under the radar. But I saw this video and I thought it was really weird. And I've been watching a lot of Twin Peaks lately because we lost David Lynch, unfortunately. And I'm a big fan of Twin Peaks. But when I saw this Drake album announcement video, I had this idea that, oh my gosh, is Drake trying to tell us that the real Drake has been kidnapped and stuck in the red room from Twin Peaks for the last few years, and that Drake's evil doppelganger that has sex with his friends' girlfriends and likes to chat up underage girls is the Drake that we've been seeing out in the world? Because that would make sense, that the relatable Drake is locked away in some other dimension while a Drake doppelganger that's evil has been out in the world. That would be one of the few things that could explain Drake's change in behavior and public image over the last few years, because it doesn't make much natural sense to me. So I was like, okay, now it all makes sense. Thank you, David Lynch, for helping me make sense of it. And then I remembered that none of the stuff in Twin Peaks really exists at all. So back here on the earth that exists, Drake and Party Next Door released this album on Valentine's Day, supposedly for all of the lovers, right? He released some sexy songs for whoever the sexy songs were supposed to be for. But then on the Twitter machine, there were people tripping about one of the sexy songs. One of the sexy songs apparently is called Gimme a Hug. And apparently in the Gimme a Hug sexy song, Drake addresses the beef and he goes at Kendrick a little bit, I guess. And he dissed Joe Budden and stuff happened in the song and people were saying, oh, I was listening to the sexy songs and then I got to Give Me a Hug and I had to run back this one sexy song called Give Me a Hug because that song was great. And it was sort of implying that all the rest of the songs were not great. But these were mostly robots talking. So I'm not really sure what they were attempting to say anyway. But because of the nature of what these humans or robots were saying, I'm going to listen to this one sexy song and I'm going to let you know what I think about it. I'm going to listen to it right now and take some notes and then tell you what those notes are. Ladies and gentlemen, this song is ass. This song is ass. This song is cheeks. This is not a good song. It's not a good sexy song and it's not a good rap song. It stinks. Look, it starts out with this church song sample. I like the church song sample. The church song sample is great. It's not sexy at all, but it's a nice way to start a rap song. And then I hear this Hulk Hogan bar. Hulk Hogan bar in 2025. So what you've let me know by starting off with a Hulk Hogan bar is that you're not paying attention to anything going on in the world. Now, mind you, I make rap music, so I know that rap music is not made the day before it comes out. Now, sometimes when you're in a beef, that's what happens. But I'm assuming you made this song a long time ago. And you said, rip me on their shirt like Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is universally hated, even by wrestling fans, for being a racist piece of shit. So you want to invoke him to start off? Again, Drake, no one can accuse you of being good at reading the room. And then you got these ishy-airy rhymes. You got missionary and cemetery and beneficiary and obituary. And all of these rhymes, all of these words have been rhymed 10 million times in the history of rap music. And I know you know that. This is coming off as very lazy. And then you end with this on stage twerking at the dictionary line. But we're going to get to that in a second. Dissing Joe Budden. I don't necessarily know why. Joe Budden, to me, in terms of what I heard Joe Budden say about Drake, Joe Budden has been pretty fair, right? He's mostly just been trying to analyze the moves. And when you've done goofy things, he's called you goofy, which most people have done, not just Joe Budden. Even on Joe Budden's show. When Joe Budden calls you a goofy, a lot of the people on Joe Budden's show agree with it. A lot of people in the world agree with it because when you do goofy shit, sometimes people call you goofy. That's because actions have consequences. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. And then when you get to the end of the song, it becomes this pandering thing about strippers and sex workers. Okay. But you're painting a weird picture here. This is all painting a very weird picture. And I know that you might not be used to people thinking through what they're listening to because in recent history, that's not always what people did with rap music. But as you know, since you're suing all of the reactors or all of the reactors are being named in your lawsuit, people are actually thinking about and analyzing the things that are being said in rap songs. And it's going to be a while, if ever, before people stop doing that. So what picture are we painting here? So you're telling the sex workers to give you a hug. You paying for them hugs, bro? You paying for them hugs? They're on the clock. They're at work. They're not trying to hug you for free. If you want free hugs, you have to trade them for free features on their albums. That's how the barter economy works. There's a line on here about Nike tights. If you're in the strip club, which is where you have established you are at this part of the song, if you're seeing a girl with Nike tights on, that's not out on the floor. Are you in the dressing room? Have you gone into the dressing room asking the strippers and the sex workers to give you a hug? Just wait a second, bro. They're getting undressed. They're going to be out there wearing less clothes than that. You don't need to be in there. They might be on break. Are you like the freaky guy who owns a strip club and you're just hanging out in the dressing room asking for hugs? This is creepy behavior. And then you talk about how when you die, these people will be the beneficiaries, and they'll have people at 29, which I'm guessing is a strip club, twerking in the dictionary. And this is for sure a mistake. This is instantly reminding me of when you said that Kendrick's rapping like he's trying to get the slaves freed, or Kendrick is rapping, hand him a Grammy. You say these little tongue-in-cheek things, Drake. You're not good at tongue-in-cheek. Your tongue-in-cheek thing, it starts to look like monkey paw wishes. When you say these things, bad things tend to happen to you. You said give him a Grammy, and now he's got every Grammy for the song that caused you a PDF file. Okay? So if you're making some joke about ladies twerking with dictionaries, I feel like you're going to get hit in the head in the strip club with a dictionary or something. Like, this is going to turn around on you somehow. Okay? And you're doing this thing where you're sort of pandering to strippers and sex workers, but you're also implying that they need dictionaries to understand what words mean, and you're calling them out of their name a lot. So you're in their place of work, you're in their dressing room, you're asking them for hugs, you're calling them out of their names and implying that they need dictionaries to understand what words mean. Okay? You're doing too much here. It's very confusing. And if you think about it for half a second, it turns all of this potentially enjoyable experience into something where you're just an a-hole saying a-hole things. And then there's an Aaron Hall sample at the end of this. You start singing I Miss You in bad auto-tune, by the way. Sometimes when you come to the Open Mike Eagle YouTube channel, you learn things from the inside of music. And I'm here to tell you this. If you listen to the auto-tune in this song versus the auto-tune in all of Drake's old records, you'll hear how this auto-tune, there was no time spent on it at all. This is all very basic auto-tune settings, and nobody has gone in there to fine-tune it and make the voice sound natural at all. Okay? You're doing auto-tune through default settings when you have $1 million to pay somebody to get that right. You're doing this bad auto-tune singing over an Aaron Hall sample. You're singing I Miss You by Aaron Hall. Aaron Hall's got a couple weird cases, Jacob. So again, this is somebody that if you thought about it for half a second, maybe you wouldn't want to be associated with, or maybe you do. Maybe this is how you want things to be, where nobody remembers anybody has a weird case like they used to a year ago. We're not in that world anymore. Your whole thing here is wagering that the party will prevail. You're wagering that Kendrick's going to go back up the mountain and there's nobody down here to replace him. And in that vacuum, things are going to go back to how they used to be. And you can just keep on pandering and never taking accountability for anything and doing what you want, where you want, with who you want. And nobody remembers or thinks about who has weird cases and nobody has a dictionary. And if there's anything that scares me about all of this, it's the thought that you might be right. The song is ass though. It's really bad. Like and subscribe, homie, friend. It's free. Stop playing.